Ladies and gentlemen, today it is May 27th, 2026, and the year is 5786 according to the Jewish calendar, the 11th in the month of Sivan. I guess many of you have seen the title and have asked me, is that really true? And for that, we have to look deeper into the civil war in Syria. Introduction, and we can begin. Look guys, the Syrian civil war is still an ongoing conflict, but it began around March 2011, involving many forces from all over the world. On the one side were President Bashar, and on his side were the Iranians and the Russians. On the other side were Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. But what many people don't know is the involvement of the terrorist organizations in that war. On the side of Bashar Assad were the Hezbollah from Lebanon, other several terrorist organizations from Iraq, and many pro-Iranian forces from every corner in the Middle East. On the other hand, were forces such as Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State, all sorts of jihadists, and Palestinians who fought on their side, and more and more. The Muslims in China, most of them joined the forces with the Al-Qaeda, and even under it, organized their own political party called Turkestan Islamic State, and they resided mostly in the northern of Syria near Idlib. While South Korea experienced its own coup by President Yoon, another coup was conducted in Syria by the Islamist groups which opposed Bashar Assad. Ahmed al-Shara, the current Syrian president and a well-known terrorist, we need to mention that, wants to bring his terrorist allies into the fold and make a new Syrian army, and he needed those Chinese Muslims to achieve it. According to reports by the Israeli, Druze, and Alawite media outlets, there is a brigade called Division 84, which mostly composed of foreign fighters. There are Chinese, Chechens, Afghans, Pakistanis, and even Turks, and they are responsible for the region of Latakia, where the Alawites reside. I don't want to focus on that, but it's very important to understand that. The Muslims view the Alawites and the Druze worse than how they view the Jews and the Christians, because those two groups are doing something that doesn't fit the Muslim ideology. So you can imagine the tensions and why the Alawites feel unsafe next to them. During the testimonies I heard and read from the Alawites who live in the region of Latakia, troops from Division 84 were sent to calm down the situation, but according to those testimonies, they took part in the Alawite massacre as well last year. According to an investigation by foreign journalists, especially Western ones, the Chinese Muslim Party, which I mentioned earlier, sent its own troops to massacre the Alawite civilians along the coast. The report is down below. The report is in the description down below. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the opportunity for everyone who supports Israel, especially in East Asia, to prove they can deter. And look, we don't need South Korean bases or American bases on the coastal regions in Syria. No need for that. All we need is to expose the truth of the Middle East to our friends, our followers, to the church, those of you who are Christians, and the student unions we are members of. If we will manage to do it, especially the conservative groups, we will pull off the carpet of Lee Jae-myung, the Korean president, from Macron and the Prime Minister Starmer, who flirt with al-Ashara about recognition of jihadist Syria. Because if it will continue to get recognition, The Islamist regime will live longer by the, let's say, the long term, and they will head to Israel. If not tomorrow, then in next week. Thank you very much, and even more thanking for opening your mind about the Middle East and thinking of a better future.